Corbyn's in trouble again. This time, he praised the release of Hamas terrorists. Amidst rising pressures of anti-Semitism claims in the Labour Party, Corbyn's now been exposed as having praised the release of Hamas terrorists on Iranian TV. How did anyone miss this? So after the Times reported on Corbyn hosting a Holocaust Memorial Day event in 2010 in which speakers and organisers likened Israel's government to the Nazis, it was exposed that Corbyn had once praised Hamas terrorists. So it was on a TV show named Remember Palestine way back in 2012, only 6 years ago. It wasn't like the internet wasn't around back then and people didn't have smartphones or couldn't watch Iranian TV. How was this never seen? Corbyn discussed the release of 1,000 convicted terrorists that were released by the Israeli government as part of a prisoner swap, and he called them brothers. He just flat out referred to these 1,000 convicted terrorists as brothers live on television and questioned whether there was a serious case against them as well. So the Express reported that Corbyn said on this video, "Well, you have to ask the question why they're in prison in the first place, and since the releases that took place after the hunger strike, I met many of the brothers, including the brother who had been speaking here when they came out of prison when I was in Doha earlier this year, and you just realise that this mass imprisonment of Palestinians is actually part of a much bigger political game. Well, I'm glad that those that were released, and I hope they're now in safe places." So to Corbyn, locking up terrorists, people that kill people, is part of a political game. That really tells you a lot, doesn't it? But who exactly was he talking about? Well, one of the men was Abdul Aziz Umar. This was a man that was given 7 life prison sentences after assisting in the preparation of a suicide vest attack in Jerusalem in 2003 that killed 7 people. This is a guy who, well, according to Jeremy Corbyn, is a brother, and you have to question why he's in prison in the first place. Well, somehow the Labour Party just keeps bouncing back after this. Like, they haven't been massively hurt in the polls either. They're still up there with the Tories. No matter how much of this crap seems to come out, no matter what seems to come out of Corbyn's mouth, people just seem to be distracted and forgetting about it. I wonder if maybe they're distracted by Brexit and just see the other side as the least worst alternative. Half of the country, we know, half of the country who vote Labour, they're not anti-Semitic. They don't hate Jews. So is there something deeper going on here? The fact that people are still supporting Labour despite the stuff that's coming out of this man's mouth? Well, do people expect, maybe they just expect so little of the politicians that they'll just vote for the other big party when the one that's in power messes up? That's the dynamic now. That's what we're facing. And thankfully, though, some in the Labour Party are challenging Corbyn. Joan Ryan MP, who's the chair of Labour's Friends of Israel, is naturally not happy about this. She called for an investigation into Corbyn's comments, calling them abhorrent. And Margaret Hodge, a woman who I do not have any time for, I hate that woman, she had a massive go at him in Parliament, swearing, and now she's under some disciplinary procedure, which is quite funny. So how deep does this anti-Semitism thing run in the Labour Party? I find myself asking that a lot lately. But how long is a piece of string at this point? You know, you never know who it is. Every day we seem to see a new person in the Labour Party coming out with mental conspiracy theorists. There's so many anti-Zionist activists in there that you wouldn't believe it. This isn't the Labour Party your dad voted for. This is a new Labour Party. This is the new nasty party. Every few days these stories are coming out, and surely they can't get away with this for much longer. I mean, our Conservative Party is so weak that they barely even bat an eyelid, actually. Have you noticed the Tories never seem to talk about this? Wouldn't you think that the Conservative Party in government, facing a threat of Jeremy Corbyn whenever the next general election is, would be hammering him on this? But instead, Theresa May's flying over to France to beg and plead with Emmanuel Macron in hope that he might change his position on some issues regarding Brexit, hoping that maybe he can go back to Michel Barnier and negotiate some kind of better deal. The government is weak. They're appeasing on Islam, they're appeasing on immigration, and now they're appeasing on anti-Semitism. But one has to wonder who they're appeasing here, because I know there's a large group of voters in the UK that would be very happy to see a political party appeasing anti-Semites. If you want to see more from me and the rest of the Rebel team, remember to like and subscribe.